One of the things that really inspires me as a geography teacher is going to new places, seeing different landscapes, and being able to understand and interpret how they were made. So, for example, I've recently been in the Lake District, and in the lakes there's loads of little bits of evidence, loads of little signs and hints and clues that that place used to be covered by ice, and that it was glaciers that carved out the beautiful landscape around us. And this passage reminds me of that process of looking for the signs and the evidence and using that to build up a bigger picture. First of all, we have Thomas. And Thomas needed, didn't he, that physical reminder that Jesus really was the Messiah, that Jesus had come to fulfill all the prophecies from the Old Testament, that Jesus was who he said he was. But Thomas needed some help, needed a reminder to be able to believe that. And then we have this kind of juxtaposition with what John writes at the end, which where he says, Jesus performed many signs which are not recorded in this book, but these are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Messiah. It's like, Thomas required that physical presence, but John says, look, there's so many signs, there's so much evidence that this is true, just look around you. And so I think we're being invited today to look at those signs, the signs in the Bible of what Jesus did, but also in our lives, things that God's done for us in the past, and maybe in the wider world as well. So I really want to encourage you today, sometimes we can feel like Thomas and feel uncertain and feel like, does the evidence really point to this? Is it really possible? But actually, when we look at those signs and the evidence that exist, we can piece together a bigger picture. And like with me in the Lake District, one really easy sign you can look for when you're looking around for if there are glaciers are something called striations. They're really small scratches that are on the surface of rock, and they show that little bits of rock were in the glacier being dragged along. And they're tiny, you can tread on them without noticing them. They're pretty innocuous. They're not like a big, majestic landform, but they're a clear sign that a glacier used to be there. And like that, maybe it's good for us to sometimes look back at our lives or look back at God's word and look for the little things that really help convince us, as we're invited today to believe that Jesus is the Messiah who comes to give us life.